Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking your time out today and joining for our webinar, which we have titled as Maximizing Your Business Value of CATIA V5 Data by Collaborating on the 3D Experience platform. So before I hand over to our technical speaker today, I would like to give a brief introduction about our company, EDS Technologies. So we are one of the largest technology solutions providers in India with more than 30 years of business transformation experience. We help transform businesses by enabling adoption of virtual twin, geospatial analytics, and 3D printing. We have introduced many technologies like 3D printing, VR, digital manufacturing, etc. for the first time to Indian customers. We have established ourselves as a trusted partner for more than 2,000 organizations across various verticals like automotive, aerospace, defense, industrial equipment, and more. We have dedicated regional teams who are reinforced by our domain and functional consultants. We are also backed by strategic alliances with global leaders who are pioneers in their own respective technology areas. And we are also the platinum partner to Dassault Systems. We have a widespread presence with 11 offices across India, with our headquarters being in Bangalore. We are an end-to-end technology solutions provider to our customers. So our speaker for the day is Mr. Surendran. So Surendran has more than 11 years of experience in multiple domains such as product development, technical support, functional consultant, solution consultant, and technical documentation. He specializes in multicad and product lifecycle management solutions. He has various global certifications from Dassault Systems. He graduated in mechanical engineering from VTU in the year 2014 and is currently working as Assistant Manager, Business Process Consulting at EDS Technologies.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you all for taking your valuable time to join this webinar. Okay. So as Abhay told, this webinar is predominantly focusing on how you can accelerate your existing process by connecting your CATIA V5 to the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. Okay. So this will be our agenda for the next 40-45 minutes. So we shall start with understanding what are the business challenges that CATIA V5 users face in their traditional workflow, and what is the solution that we are going to showcase today. That is basically the solution that is powered by the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. So there are 5 key business value pillars which I will be discussing today, and of course one of the key points today will be collaboration in action. So what will be the value added benefits to you all in terms of adopting this solution and how it will basically accelerate the collaboration aspect. Okay. So also let us see some of the demonstrations that we have in terms of how CATIA V5 and 3DEXPERIENCE platform will basically accelerate your existing process. Okay. And also in terms of what would be the return of investment, what will be the business impact if you adopt this solution. Okay. And most importantly, we will also be emphasizing on security and compliance. Since we are talking about cloud, it's also important that you need to understand about the security and compliance. And finally, I would like to share some of the success stories that where we have implemented the platform by integrating CATIA V5. Okay. See, when you look at business challenges, okay, so let me start with some of the key challenges which I wanted to basically highlight here. Okay, so in a traditional CATIA V5 environment today, if you see here, a lot of people, a lot of companies are using CATIA V5, right? So ideally, if you see here, the collaboration is largely siloed. That is one of the key things which I would like to highlight here. Okay, though you have your CATIA V5, which is a powerful tool, it's important that how effectively you can work together is one of the questions that is still open. Okay, so that is what I'm talking about in terms of collaboration is largely siloed. Okay, data management plane, if you see here, it might be your local servers or it might be your local PDM systems or whatever it is. Okay, so how exactly CATIA V5 data is basically live, whether it is live or not. So is it possible for you to share large assemblies across your enterprise? Okay, so is it creating any kind of bottlenecks and IP risks? So these are some of the things that we are trying to understand. Okay, and of course, if you see here, one of the key aspects to any company is basically accelerating time to market. Okay, so this is one of the point which I wanted to basically emphasize here. So processes, since whatever the current processes that you're following which are manual, okay, so it might be your review process, or it might be your approval process, or it might be your change management process, okay, it might vary from weeks to months. Okay, ideally all this is basically going to impact your time to market. That is what we are basically saying, that is slower time to market. That is one of the what do you call the challenges that designers or CATIA V5 users are currently facing. Okay, and most importantly, though you have your PDM systems or any kind of data management system in-house, see, IT infrastructure costs are rising right now. Okay, so on-premise systems takes a lot of effort in terms of upgrades. Okay, it definitely takes a lot of budget from your company's what do you call IT team. They basically try to tend to basically bring in a lot of budget allocations for these kind of how do you call it, upgradations or overhauling of your IT systems and all those stuff. Okay, so rather what we can do is that we can definitely use that particular share of money or funds into your innovation process. So what basically happens is that these challenges are basically costing your business. Okay, but what we are trying to highlight today is that the solution is already there in the ecosystems. See, many of you might be using CATIA V5 with cloud services licenses. Like it might be your CATIA Mechanical Engineering Excellence with cloud services. It might be your CATIA Engineering Excellence. It might be CATIA and Mechanical and Shape Engineering Excellences. Okay, so though you are using only CATIA V5, okay, so what is the value addition that we can give in terms of the solution that is already available in the ecosystem? This is what we are going to discuss today. So ideally, if you see in this slide, whatever the solution, what I'm talking about, it's a combination of CATIA V5 and 3D Experience platform on the cloud. Okay, so this is basically something like best of both worlds. Okay, so now what do we basically do? So what do we solve? Okay, so you all know towards the left side, whatever you're seeing, CATIA V5, it has proven design workflows in terms of whatever you want for product design. Okay, so it has basically existing IP and data assets. You have a trained workforce already in the company, and you also have a certified processes. Okay, in order to execute what is required for your business. But with the existing CATIA V5 with cloud services licenses, whatever you have, okay, so you can basically start up with the minimal what do you call way of establishing a what do you call a accelerated system. Okay, like one whatever I said in terms of collaboration. Okay, so we are talking about global collaboration here. It's not only within the enterprise or within not only within different plants. Okay, so globally, if you see, 3D experience on the cloud will give you real-time updates. Okay, so you will have a unified data backbone, so which I will be discussing in the coming slides detailing. Okay, you have a scalable cloud infrastructure. So here what happens is that when I spoke about overhauling of your IT systems in order to do upgrades or what do you call establish a new systems or upgrade whatever it is. Okay, so rather than doing that, investing a lot of money into it, okay, this cloud infrastructure is always scalable. Okay, and the best part is that, as we all know, that a lot of buzz and stuff are going around AI right now, right? So 3D Experience on the cloud also offers solutions which provides basically AI powered business insights as well. Okay, so what is that we are going to basically understand from is that, so we are not going to replace or retrain anything. Okay, you already have CATIA V5 users, they continue to use CATIA V5. Along with this CATIA V5, whoever has the CATIA V5 with cloud services licenses, they can instantly start up with the 3D experience on cloud platform. Okay, so ideally, what is uh, the main thing that which we would like to understand from this is that your V5 investment, whatever you're done, it continues and becomes more powerful, rather than we are not going to what do you call scrap anything, or you are not going to take off anything from the system. Rather, what happens is that you have only CATIA V5 right now. You're going to make sure that you have best of both worlds, combining CATIA V5 and 3D experience platform on the cloud. So there are five, these are the five key business value pillars which I would like to what I call highlight here. Okay, so why you should basically connect your CATIA V5 to the 3D experience platform. Okay, so ideally there should be some kind of business impacts and you're basically looking at some kind of outcomes, right? So when you want to do a real-time co-design across sites, across suppliers, or across customers, or even within your teams, directly within CATIA V5. Okay, you can basically bring a single systems, ensuring that you will have a unified data. Okay, rather than working in silos, you will have a unified data. And of course, in terms of your process optimization, like your design reviews, approval process, your change management, you see all these elements are embedded within the platform, making sure that your work is being increased in terms of 3x speed. Okay. Next one is basically if you want to understand traceability. So you know that a lot of data has been built every day in your company. You need to understand what is the level of traceability that you have here. How do you protect and manage your IP? Okay. So all these elements are well managed on the cloud. Okay. It's eliminating version and revision chaos. Okay. You can understand who has done what. You'll be also able to understand who has the ownership on the data that they have built. Okay, so completely you have 100% data traceability on this particular platform here. Okay, so in terms of your delivering your product to the market, again coming back to how you can accelerate your time to market. Okay, so with the embedded workflows that we have with CATIA V5 and 3D Experience on the cloud, we already have implemented the solutions to various customers, and we have observed that there is a 40% reduction in the cycle time, starting from design till manufacturing till how they dispatch it to the market. Okay, and most importantly, you all know that now everyone wants compliance and quality. Okay, compliance being one of the talking points today. So how it can comply with ISO. Okay, so the system is basically fully traceable. Okay, you have locked configurations and it is regulatory ready documentation built in, so you need not to have any kind of manual documentations during your audit process. Rather, what happens is that it's the system whatever you're using on the platform all readily serves as an audit trial system. Okay, and when you adopt cloud, what basically happens is that whatever you invest in terms of your infrastructure, that is your IT infrastructure, your overhauling of your IT systems, or whatever it is in terms of upgrade or putting up a new system, there is a reduction of 30% of cost that you can save here. So ideally, that is not basically what do you call something that you get when you are working on premise, but whereas when you're in cloud, the updates, the upgrades, whatever it is, all taken care by Dassault systems. Okay, it is basically optimizing your IT cost, basically moving from or shifting from a capex hardware to a scalable opex cloud. Okay, so this is basically a pay only for what you use. It's not like you buy a bigger infrastructure and utilize only a small part initially. Rather, what happens is that whatever you need, you can buy it now, you can use it. As and when you want to scale or expand, definitely you can do that. And the most important thing is the last one, that is auto updates always. As we are talking about real-time collaboration, okay, the data will be always up to date. Okay, and in terms of the system updates as well, Dassault Systems does not provide any kind of unexpected downtimes, wherein you are always informed prior and you will have all the latest upgrade in a much organized way as well. So when we basically talk about collaboration, okay, so you know about working with teams, right? So you're working with teams, working with different business units, different working globally, whatever. There are a lot of stuff that is there. But when you basically talk about collaboration, what does the 3D Experience Cloud Services provide in terms of collaboration, and how it is going to supercharge your CATIA V5 teamwork? This is the focus of the day, right? So if you see here, CATIA V5 Designer natively works in CATIA V5. There is no any change in the workflows that is currently doing. Okay, what happens is that you can integrate the 3D Experience platform on the cloud to the CATIA V5 interface. Okay, the moment he saves the file, it is automatically pushed to the 3DX platform. Okay, here as we talk about time process, what happens is that when there is review process, where there is any kind of approval process, when it is going through a change management process, okay, you need opinions and reviews from multiple stakeholders. It might be managers, sometimes based on the depending on the organization's size, it might be even top stakeholders as well, CXO, CEO, whoever it is. So it's not viable for you to basically reach out to them instantly every time because of their tight schedules. Rather, what you can do is that you can have a system in place wherein you can keep a review mechanisms, ensure that all the comments and informations are well captured with required timestamps, be it any stakeholders, any device, anywhere, because this is purely on cloud, which even can be accessed through your mobile phones or tablets as well. Okay. So, and of course, once your review is done, you will be basically doing an approval and release process. Okay. It's all digital here, making sure that digital signature facility is also enabled here. And ideally, you can understand right from how the CATIA V5 designer starts his work till who has approved, you have a complete traceability. Okay. So when we talk about key collaboration scenarios, you can see here it might be a multi-site co-design. Let's say, for example, you have 10 plants, you have 50 CATIA licenses, and there are 50 designers. Okay. So if you want to work on real-time basis without having any kind of hiccups, okay, this is one of the solutions that can definitely help you. And most importantly, if you see here, supplier integration is one of the key aspects that we have here. See, let's say, for example, you can share all the required data in terms of your STEP, IGS, or even your CAT part or whatever it is that you're developing in CATIA V5 through the cloud itself. Okay. So we have the facility to basically facilitate this particular workflow through 3D Drive. Okay. So that's an application. It does not require any VPN. It does not require any emailing. It does not require any kind of zipcat files to be uploaded. Rather, what you can do is that the supplier who's still not on 3D Experience platform can definitely access this particular interface where you have the facility to external share within your company's network, wherein they can access only the required data without having access to any other information. Okay. And third one is basically change management. This is one of the key things. Change management does not happen only within design team. Let's say, for example, it might be basically from your customers. If you're receiving any kind of design change requests, or it might be your internal reviews, or it might be the changes that has been given by your manager. Okay. So how do you manage your end-to-end change management? How these are uh, quickly tagged and tightly linked with 3D Experience platform with V5. Okay. So this basically gives you one of the what do you call the major business impacts. Change management still remains one of the key aspects, not only with respect to the design team, it is for the entire company as well. Ideally, this is one of the key scenarios which we are looking at here as well. So before we go further, I want to basically emphasize here. So though we are talking today only on CATIA V5 connecting with 3D Experience on cloud, okay. So I would like to throw some light on what is model-based virtual product development that we have on the 3D Experience platform. So earlier, I spoke only about how CATIA V5 integrates with platform. Rather here, I would like to emphasis on 3 points. One is multidisciplinary teams, multi-CAD teams, and of course, multi-site collaborative engineering, which means if you see towards the left side, let's take an example of a drone. Okay. So it's basically a holistic product definition and model, right? So a drone is not only a mechanical design, it is inclusive of mechanical, electrical, electronics. Okay. Though it's mechanical only, if you see, it's not only going to be CATIA V5 every place, right? You will have SolidWorks, you will have Solid Edge, you will have Inventor, NX, Creo, Parametric, whatever it is. 3D Experience platform will be a one-stop solution, okay? That will enable you to integrate all these CAD applications into a single product structure. Though if you're working through multi-site and if you're having multi-CAD applications, never a problem. You can instantly integrate all these applications to the platform, and you can ensure that all these designs are well synchronized. What is the benefit of this? If it is synchronized, it will be a unified bill of material management. Okay. There will be no discrepancies in your product structure, ensuring that your EBOM is well defined and released. So as I emphasized about connecting multi-CAD applications to platform, what is that we call this as what do we call this strategy as on the 3D Experience platform? As I said, to have a collaborative engineering definition, that is having a unified BOM. Okay. So all these applications are connected to the platform through a power by strategy. So we have already built in connectors. What you have to basically do is that today you are basically having the connector for CATIA V5 within your CATIA V5 with cloud services license. Rather, if you want to integrate any other CAD applications along with CATIA V5, you have to just basically have these connectors, ensuring that all data will be synchronized and you will be having a common product structure. So I believe that you might have got some information about what CATIA V5 does with 3D Experience Cloud. Okay. Now, before we could actually get into a use case demonstration, I want to basically show you a short video about what basically uh, CATIA V5 basically does with the 3D Experience on cloud. Okay. So in this segment of video, okay, so you'll be seeing how you can basically save and revise your data with the cloud services. Okay. So ideally, if you see here in this video, you can discover the capabilities of the platform. First one is basically how to open and save a CAT product from a local machine. Okay. Then if you want to have a powerful search to retrieve the data, even you can do that as well. You can even search and open the CAT product data on the web services as well. Okay. And of course, you can organize your data, and finally, you can manage your revisions and versions. So first, let us see how you can open and save a CAT product. So this is a typical workflow. How you do? You import your file from the local database, that is your servers or file locations. You open this here. And once if you want to save this, you have an integrated bar or integrated interface within the 3D Experience platform where you see here, it'll show whether it's an active document, whether it is the latest revision, or whether if you have any changes in the document, you can see all these information are well embedded here as well. So it'll basically help you to understand in this session what is basically available. Okay, and if you want to save this file to a particular location, you can organize it to a dedicated folder as well. Okay, you see here you can basically create a structure hierarchy of folders. Okay, and you can select the files whichever you want, and you can save it instantly. It will be automatically saved to the cloud, and you will have a live synchronization as well. So what basically happens is that whatever from your standpoint, whatever you're sharing or saving, okay, the other designers who are connected to the platform will automatically able to see everything. Okay, and here basically if you see, you can also create a new revisions as well. So once you want to create a new revision, rather than having multiple files in your local computer, you can have a new revisions here itself, and you will have a maturity life cycle as well. If you want to freeze it for approval, you can do that. You can release it. You can do all these kind of elements on the 3D Experience platform as well. It also enables you to basically avoid duplication of files. So you can lock the files while you're editing, and you can basically unlock it when you're basically sending it back to the database. And this will also enable you to basically generate derived outputs such as STEP, IGS, CGRs, which is required to be shared with your suppliers as well. So once you save this, what happens is that you can see this progress of the file getting into the platform, and you will have all the message stating that all files are saved accordingly. Okay. So while you see here, this is how the interface remains here. Okay. So it will be beneficial for you to work on the platform, and you can save all the files here to the 3D Experience platform as well. But when you want to basically search and open a product, whatever you've done in CATIA V5, so in local computers, it will be hard for you to retrieve information. But whereas what happens is that here we have a powerful semantic search. You can filter it based on different information, whether which CAD applications you have built, whether it's CATIA V5, 3D Experience, whatever it is. You can also filter information based on CATIA V5 releases as well, whether it is 23, 26, 25. You can also check the dates as well. Okay. And you have opportunity to even search this on the web interface also. When you open the 3D Experience web interface, you can also find this information here. Okay. And you can instantly open this element with design with CATIA V5. So that what happens is that all element can be instantly opened in your CATIA V5 interface. While it's also important that you need to understand how you organize your data. Okay, you have a lot of data, you can have a powerful search capabilities, but it's also important that you need to basically create a folder structure hierarchy, right? So this will basically enable you to easily find the data that is required. So here also, if you see here, you need to manually upload here. The system is already capable of finding it based on the attributes what you have defined, and instantly you see here you will have all the files there. And finally, in terms of modifying the data and revision, it's going to be as simple as that. As I said, when you have multi-site collaboration or you have multi-site people working on it, okay, you see how it behaves between user one and user two. So that ideally, you will have the information about how this has been locked by other user, and how easily you can create the new revisions as well. So this will basically enable you to avoid the duplication of the file, ensuring that all elements are well aligned in the design, whatever you're doing. And guys, if you want to do any replace with your revision, you see here from the 3D Experience platform, you can also understand how many revisions are there, whether it is A, B, C, whatever it is. So what happens is that through this connected workflows, you will have all informations. And of course, if you want to review, all users, all designers who wants to review the product structure, okay, it's as simple as that. You can see we have a tight interface on the cloud itself, okay. Rather than opening CATIA, you will also have lightweight visualization towards the right side, ensuring that all information will be available towards the left side in terms of structure. And also, if you want to visually view the 3D, okay, you can also do that as well. So as I said, you can see here, if you have integrated multiple releases of CATIA V5, even that is possible as well. So whatever the CATIA V5 releases you have, you can instantly understand. For this particular OEM, I'm using this version of CATIA, okay? So that you are intact in terms of what is required for your execution. So the one which I showcased you now is basically a generic video, how CATIA V5 integrates with 3D Experience platform. Okay, but I would also like to run through a use case. Okay, where how exactly we have the CATIA V5 and the collaborative tasks participating or working in tandem. Okay, so here you'll be seeing how we'll have the task-driven design development. So if you see here, this is basically a designer workflow. From here, we can see how the manager will participate in terms of review and approval. And finally, we can also see once a change management comes, how a change management also works in this particular regard. Okay. So in this video, if you see here, the designers is still in the CATIA V5 interface. You can access the task assigned to him through the 3D experience pane that is available. So once he opens that, you can see here all informations in terms of description, what is required, everything will be given here. Okay. So here there is a design review that is already done and image is attached. Okay. And you can also see a sample supporting element. And of course, if you want to see the 3D visualization of the CAD element without opening in CATIA, okay, you can do that as well, as I said. So now what happens is that you have to basically design an element as per the instruction given by the manager. So you just need to drag and drop the file into the CATIA interface. You see here, your CATIA the file is available in the CATIA V5 interface, and you will have a 3D experience pane towards the left side, which will have all properties. Okay, so in terms of part numbers, okay, whatever the attributes that you want to define, the derived outputs that you want to generate, everything will be intact within the CATIA V5 interface itself, rather than migrating. Okay, so now what happens is that if you would like to do some kind of what do you call modifications, as I said, you can lock the file. Locking will ensure that there will be no duplication once the other user opens. Okay, so you can also check the relationship between the different elements, how many revisions are there. So this is basically the traceability. Okay, so now you're going to basically design an element here. Okay, so what happens is that you can start your regular CATIA V5 workflows using your surface design modules, whatever it is. Okay, once this is done, you see here, once your modeling is completed, you ensure that the functional form and the aspects are completed. Okay, so once this is done, you can use the save button. So once you save this, what happens is that the data will now be available on the platform, and you can freeze it for approval as well from the CATIA V5 interface itself. So you see a lot of actions have been done. So without navigating to a different application, so what you can do is that whatever the bracket that you define, you will put it as a deliverable and save it. So you can also well and truly put across comments. So if you want to have a tight traceability of who has done what and what are the comments, you see those information is also available here. Okay, so what happens is that without getting out of CATIA V5, okay, so you can use the 3D experience capability integrated within the platform and CATIA V5, and you can save all these information here. So ideally what happens is that as I said, without taking out your investment, okay, so just going to make your CATIA V5 workflows more powerful, ensuring that the data management capabilities and collaboration is well established between all the designers in your company. I hope this was, I think this was a bit, what do you call, intuitive in terms of understanding, like how the different actions was done by the designer in terms of revising, creating a model, saving it, and organizing. We will also see the next thing in terms of change management as well. Let's say, for example, now a designer has designed an element earlier, but now let's say, for example, you have received a change request from one of your stakeholders or managers. Okay, so here you need to understand how the change management also works, right? So here it is going to be pretty similar here. So if you see, you can open the change execution interface from the CATIA V5 itself. Okay, so whatever you want to change, you can basically put across in this interface. Okay, so as I said, you can do a design review in the platform itself, and you can see any kind of annotations, reviews, all these things can be done. So now in this regard, if you see here, there is a modification that is to be done. So you can activate the change management within the CATIA V5. Okay, and you can go ahead and do all the necessary changes in terms of your modeling, whatever you want to do. Okay, so once you have done your modeling aspects, what happens is that the platform will basically capture the history of changes what you have done. So ideally what happens is that it is not only capturing the history of changes, while once this has been locked or freezed, okay, so it will ideally help others to understand that this file is already being changed and it is waiting for approval. Okay, so this is going to be pretty simple here. So it's not going to be a complex workflow. It's just that drag and drop capabilities are there. And you can see there are two tabs available here, proposed and realized changes. Okay, so proposed changes is basically your manager basically put across what is to be, what needs to change. Okay, and realized changes is where whatever you have modified will be automatically captured. Okay, and it will be freezed for approval. Okay, so in this scenario we have seen how it has been done. Okay, so here what happens is that the product manager will play his part in terms of approving the change. Okay, so now the modification is well done. Okay, so what he basically does is that he will open all the modifications that we have here. Okay, so here what happens is that in this he'll basically open the realized changes to understand what has been done, who has done it. Okay, so if he wants to move it further, you will have an approval workflow available here. So you can put a series of people to understand the approvals. Okay, and you can also visually compare the revisions as well. So I'm trying to see what was there in revision B to revision C. So you can see the superimposition of the element that is available from the earlier bracket to the latest one. Okay, so if you want to approve this, okay, as I said, we have the comments based approval system available along with a digital signature also as well. And once this has been approved, what happens is that the file will be automatically released. Okay, so the whatever the elements that you saw earlier, now it has been redesigned. Okay, and all its statuses in terms of the latest revisions, you see here everything will be updated here as well. So ideally what happens is that you can work collaboratively with all your design team members. Okay, the next one is basically how you can manage your review process, how you can manage your approval process, how you can define your bill of materials intact, okay, without any duplication stuff. Okay, and most importantly, if there is any kind of changes, it's not only inside design team, as I said, even if it's changes coming from different teams, you can effectively manage all the design changes on the change management to the platform. Okay, so I think these short use cases basically help you understand like how you can basically have a what do you call connected design workflow. Okay, definitely there are a lot of additional things that you can basically utilize within these licenses. Okay, uh, definitely we can also have a one-to-one session if you are really interested in order to understand the capabilities on the cloud. Okay, by collaborating with the V5, definitely we are up for it. Okay, but what happens if you implement this solution? What is that you are basically going to get in terms of return on investments? Okay, and what are the measurable business impacts? As I said, first one is time to market to all the stakeholders and people who are here and all the companies. Okay, so ideally you can reduce your processes or optimize your processes, ensuring that you can reduce your time to market. your change management or your engineering change orders, whatever you're executing today manually, okay, with a digital system enabled, you can accelerate the process 3x times, okay. And most importantly, if you want to implement this solution, you need not to invest on any kind of IT hardware infrastructure costs, okay. Rather, what happens is that you have this scalable cloud platform, which is basically going to save you around 30% of your investment for the IT stuff, whatever you have. And this platform is basically always up, and you don't have any kind of issues while working. You have an uptime SLA of 99.9%. Okay, so what is the productivity gain by functions? Okay, see, if you see here, design reviews is one of the key things that we discussed. Okay, change management is also one of the digitalized systems that you can get through this. As I said, if you want to collaborate with your supplier for sharing any kind of idea, step, drawing, PDF, whatever it is for manufacturing or outsourced parts, you can well and truly do within this platform. Accessing data is going to be real time, and of course, the IT overhead are going to come down in a very drastic way. Okay, and what is that investment protection that you have here? All the existing CATIA V5 licenses that you have been using will still be fully preserved. Okay, there will be no changes in your V5 interface. There will be no training or retraining required for your designers. They will still continue to work on CATIA V5. Okay, the cloud adds capability. It does not replace anything here. Okay, it's basically this solution has a flexible subscription model available. Okay, and you can also understand in terms of a phased rollout approach as well. Today it is just we are talking about data management, but this platform is a big way to go, where you can integrate your variant configuration management. You can do your engineering BOM management. You can do program management. You can do your RFQ management, manufacturing BOM management, process planning. Okay, work instructions, authoring, everything. For everything, whatever the 3D that you create in your CATIA V5 will always be compatible. Okay, and of course, you have a full backward data compatibilities as well, which means here what happens is that you can integrate multiple CATIA V5 releases. It's not that you have to use with only one CATIA V5 release. Rather, what happens is that you can integrate multiple CATIA V5 releases, and you can open those files whenever necessary in that interface, and you can do the necessary work and store everything on the cloud, and it will be a real-time update. So though we have talked mostly more about the technical capabilities and the workflows that we have of CATIA V5 integrating with 3DEXPERIENCE platform, this is one of the key slides and information which I wanted to basically talk about. Okay, so it's really important that you want to understand the enterprise grade level security and compliance that we have on 3DX Cloud. Okay, so all three things: your service as a software, we have platform as a service, okay, and of course you have the infrastructure as well. So SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, everything will be available on this particular platform. So for everything, Dassault Systems is responsible. Okay, you will have certification standards complied already. This cloud is complied to all the standards which is mentioned here in terms of quality management systems for SaaS and PaaS. Okay, information security management is also there for the cloud platform. Okay, as you see here, we have ISO 27701 for privacy extension. Okay, and most importantly, if you see here for automotive data protection in EU regions, we also have the TISAX. Okay, and you might also ask where exactly my data basically lies. Okay, so if you are working in India, definitely we have a data center in Mumbai. While you can also see there are a lot of other data centers that is dedicatedly available based on the customer region and the tenant that we have. Okay, and if you see where for the security by design, you have a two-factor authentication, whatever you see. So right now it's one of the key things many people are asking us in terms of how secure is the systems, whether you have a two-factor authentication, whether it's a platform security program, whether you have an application security. Okay, so all these things are well aligned here. And in terms of SLA and availability, as I said, monthly SaaS uptime is basically 99.5%. Okay, there are no unplanned interruptions. Okay, there will be daily backups. Okay, and will be kept for 7 days. there is an automatic disaster recovery included in this. You will be ensured that all data are well secured and safe. Okay, it's going to be always up to date. Okay, so you will have one major release every year, and you will have FD every 10 to 12 weeks. Okay, so security patches are basically deployed emergency if needed in case of any kind of glitches. Okay, and data access and control, if you see here, all your data will be your sole property of yours. Okay, there will be no chance of anyone accessing it. Okay, you will have a dedicated cloud tenant. Okay, just that you need to have bandwidth of 4 Mbps per second and latency of 120 ms per user to ensure that you can access your data handy. Okay, and if you see here, all these licenses are named users. Okay, so that traceability is well managed on the platform here. So the last thing which I wanted to basically talk about is on the success stories that we have here. These are some of the uh, customer success stories that we have, wherein if you see here, these are some of the prestigious customers who have already implemented a 3D experience on cloud. Not only integration with CATIA V5, they have been doing it with for different applications or process standardizations. As I said, it's an end-to-end platform that will be basically having all elements connected in the platform using the 3D based language. So coming to the end of this session, definitely I hope there will be users who are already having CATIA V5 with cloud services who are watching this webinar here. And definitely there are people who would like to explore these options as well. If you're ready to unlock the full power of CATIA V5, definitely whatever the investments that you have done is just a beginning. But definitely, if you want to transform and transform your processes and make it into a connected intelligence enterprise platform, you can start exploring 3D experience on cloud. Okay, if you would like to see more capabilities about how this platform works, you can definitely request a personalized demo. Okay, we'll have the email IDs and contacts posted in the next slide. And definitely, if you would like to start us to do a business value assessment to understand what is your current process and what will be the to be process if we implement this, what will be the return of investment that you would get if you can have this handy before we can commit in terms of you buying this particular solution, ensuring that this platform gives you a what do you call a super fast solution.
Yeah, so first of all, I would like to thank our audience for joining our webinar. We hope this session has been insightful. In case if you have any questions related to CATIA V5 on cloud services or any other cloud requirement or 3D experience requirement, you can always reach out to us. Our email and numbers are displayed on the screen right now. You can reach out to us and we will revert back with all the details. So I'd like to also thank Surendran for delivering a very insightful session. Once again, I thank everyone. I thank Surendran for joining this session. Thank you all and see you at the next session.